day it is. It's Friday. Friday, that means the weekend is almost here. So thank you guys for joining us on Chaos Culture Radio. We appreciate you guys. Like you guys, you already know, we always go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell because, hey, we're popping up like we always do, man. Popping up like we always do. Showing some love, showing support. Rodney, he's on his loading vacation, so he's out for today. But he will be back Monday, and he'll be, ready for the show on Monday like we always do. But like I said, guys, thank you for joining us. Hakeem, man, how you feeling today, man? It's Friday, baby. How you feeling?
I feel good, man. I feel good. You know what I'm saying? And blessed and highly favored, Our brother will be here in spirit with us, you know what I'm saying?
He might be in the chat, you never know.
Yeah, he'll be in the chat. Shout outs to Ken Dog. What about you? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great, man. The weekend's here, I'm just enjoying life, just enjoying work, just enjoying doing this and things that I do, and I just feel good, feel great, man. I just feel good. That's all I gotta say. Ken Dog, what's going on, man? Salute to you, man. Salute. Always coming to support every single day. If not, you come to the back chat. Ken Dog, we appreciate you so much, man. Thank you. Oh. But like I said, guys, you know what today it is. It's Friday, so we're gonna have all type of topics coming from the left, coming from the right, coming from the up, coming from the down. So we got some topics for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy it and everything. Make sure y'all chop it up in the comments and everything. But today, that's we always gonna do. We're gonna start out with some sports and everything. So the NBA Finals is already set. Dallas finally beat Minnesota to win in Game 5, and now they play the Boston Celtics at home. Game 1 a week from today. Starts Game 1, June 6th. I believe it's at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. I believe it's 6 o'clock. And the final is set, man. This is gonna be I think it's gonna be a great finals. You got Luka and Kyrie versus Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, man. It's gonna be epic finals. But yeah, Hakeem, how you feel, man? Even though it's a week away, do you have a prediction of who's gonna take over, who's gonna win the championship?
What did I say? What did I say the other day?
B-Town.
I said Dallas is gonna sweep Edwards. You remember I said that? I say the boy Kyrie been playing on God level. Luka's been hitting them threes, and he's been great with the assists. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I said they're gonna sweep them. Didn't I not say that? I say they're gonna go there. I got a feeling that Uncle Drew and them gonna win the championship. It's over with because they're gonna win it. They're gonna win it, and so it's gonna be a good game. Shout outs to Sherry Bryant.
Well, Sherry Bryant, you gonna get the hearts.
Come on, send it to her.
Because she always come in every day and support us every day.
Pretty brown, driving me wild.
But yeah, man. Yeah. I think this NBA Finals is gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Hopefully, it goes 7 games because that's what we want to see. But I want to say this, shout out to Kyrie Irving, man. Hakeem, remember 2 years ago we was talking about him in Brooklyn about the stuff he was going to and everything.
Yeah.
NBA, they tried to blackball him and everything.
Yep.
And we talked about it. We was definitely on Kyrie back. Fans was turning on him. New York was turning on him and everything. And 2 years later, look at him now. And he's still the same person that he was 2 years ago.
Man, one of the best brothers you can always want. He has always supported Black women issues. He's donated for charities. Just on a simple conversation, when he was walking up, he's asking the cameraman, "Hey, how your family doing?" He's a good brother. He's a good brother. He's a brother who represents what he wants. I get tired of people questioning him about his life. Let him have his own life, his own beliefs. I think he's a down-to-earth brother. I think he's a representation of what a Black man's supposed to be in America. I care who he's married to. He could have been with a white girl. It wouldn't care with me. He doesn't talk bad about Black women. He doesn't talk bad. Shout outs to Nidus. So he is due. And I want to say shout out to Luka too. Luka's another person who he's been playing the game since he was 16. Shout outs to Bobby Bryant. Luka's earned his keep. But one thing, you know who we need to shout out?
Mm-hmm.
Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban has always been able to pick the unsuspected superstars. Let's get that there.
Yep.
Tony Parker, the quiet giant. What's his name? Um,
Who?
who used to play with Tony Parker?
Who? Timmy?
Yeah, Tim Duncan.
Mhm.
Dirk. Dirk. Shout out to Ashton Wynn. Dirk. What's the other guy name?
From
Dirk.
Spurs?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he's from this. My bad. My bad. You see, I'm thinking of Dallas, but Dallas has always been able to pick the best superstars and get it in. So Mark Cuban needs a lot of credit for making the power moves, from bringing Kyrie here. Mark, we got to give Mark Cuban his, because if they didn't bring him there, I don't think he would have got. Luka can't do it by himself.
And the thing is about this is like at the time 2 years ago, when Brooklyn was about to trade him and everything, we didn't know what team he was going to go with, and also we didn't know the team that was going to sign him a long term deal. But Dallas was the team. Ginobili, yeah,
Ginobili, thank you. But Ashton's a basketball. He's a basketball guy, so he's able to, to answer that question. Go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Yes. Shout out to Kyrie Irving, man.
Shout out to him.
And just to see him, do what he do and everything. We already know he's a bad boy, especially in the finals and everything. And for me, it's like I feel like Boston is a better team.
Yes,
but I really want Kyrie to win this.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong; they're gonna have a tough time because Porzingis is back. Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back. I don't know if he's
hopefully I got a feeling if Porzingis has come back, then it's gonna be a toss up.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a toss up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and Luka, shout out to Luka, man. I know he's from Sylvania, but he acts like an American because he talks a hell of crap.
He does.
He is a big trash talker, and I love it.
He's been playing with black guys since 16.
Exactly.
Street ball. He's been. He came over here playing and drenched in American. We can't even say he's from Slovenia no more.
No.
He's already indoctrinated.
Right. He's American to me. He talks. He's American to me.
Just like our boy in the Spurs, Dirk, whatever his name is, when they built the statue for him, like I look at him a little bit different. I say he ain't no all these Europe white boys when they get here, they've already been converted. Their game ain't no Europe. You know what I mean? Shout outs to David Moda.
Shout out to you, David, man. Welcome, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I agree, man. I agree. But yeah, man, I feel like it's like I said, game 1 is a week from today. Hopefully it's gonna be a good finals and everything, and I'll definitely be watching. And I hopefully, Kyrie, get your second ring, man. If you get your second ring, man, I mean, you're already a Hall of Famer already, but if you get your second ring, and maybe even though the Finals MVP might go to Luka if Dallas win the championship, but if Kyrie shows up and win the Finals MVP, oh man, he's gonna be wonders. He's gonna be great. But yeah, guys, that's so hopefully it's gonna be good finals. Now we're gonna jump to the money topic. And this topic was very, very interesting to me because I thought, wow, this is some good things to talk about. So here in America, there's been a falling U.S. birth rate because we talked about this before on Chaos Coach Radio. A lot of people it's not really gonna have kids, or they're waiting until their 30s and 40s and everything. And with the fall of the birth rate, it does affect the economy in a way, which it was surprising to me. And and reading it and looking at the video and everything. So, with further ado, we're gonna show the clip of showing getting more depth into it, how the fall of birth rates affects the economy, and then after that, we're gonna chop right up. Go ahead, I can't play the clip. Oh yeah, shout out to this. What it is TV. We see you, brother.
Hassan, shout outs, brother.
Ashton Wings, like I say, hopefully you'll be coming live later on today at 5:30 because of the after party. It's always at Ashton Wings.
Ashton Wings, drop your link in the chat. Hey, yo, shout outs to the Drip Show. I was on the Drip Show. Them boys kicking it over there. Shout outs to Logic.
Okay, shout out to the Drip Show. Shout out to that family.
Hold on, let's go.
about 76,000 fewer than the previous year and the lowest one-year tally since 1979. Joining us with the economic implications of the declining U.S. birth rate, Melissa Kearney is an economics professor at the University of Maryland. Good morning to you. Somehow every story relates back to Elon Musk one way or another, and this is an issue that he's been talking about for quite some time, Melissa. How bad is it, and when do we have to really start worrying about it?
Yeah, well, first, thanks for having me on, Andrew. So it's actually quite likely that in the not too distant future, the global population is going to decline. But in the U.S., we're facing a shrinking working age population pretty imminently. So I think that's something that we need to be worried about. Our working age population has been stagnant for a while. Births in the U.S. have been falling persistently and precipitously since 2007, and I don't see any reason to think they're going to turn around.
If you were going to do something about that, what would it be?
So unfortunately, the lesson we can learn from other high-income countries that have been expressly experimenting with pro-natalist policies really reveals that economic tinkering, some tax credits here or there, extended parental leave, that's not going to do it. So I think if what we want to do is just, hold steady birth rates, even at the low level they are, or turn them around to increase them, it's going to take a real big investment in families in this country, a lot more support, financial support, things that make it easier for parents to combine having kids and working, really a dramatic reorientation of society toward a more family-friendly society. Short of that, we have to think about how to. I mean,
we've been going the last 100 years the other direction, though. So, do you think there's a political? So it would have to be a political will almost. What would be a good country to take to look at as an example of a country that's turned this the right direction?
Yeah, so this is actually a really interesting point. I think this is why this major challenge has snuck up on us, is because people have had in mind since the 1960s this misguided worry about overpopulation. So you're right, people have been celebrating declines in birth rates, and now all of a sudden we're starting to realize that that's actually going to be really bad for our fiscal situation and our economic dynamism. Who's turned it around? Japan has managed to stall the decline in birth rates. It's still birth rates in Japan are still so low that they're far below replacement level. I suppose they haven't fallen out quite as far as South Korea. They've spent 4 times as much in terms of share in their GDP on pro-family policies in recent decades. France has managed to throw a lot of support at this problem and, again, stalled out their fertility decline, but still far below replacement level. I can't really point to an advanced economy that has turned around declining fertility rates. That's the issue here. So I think what we have to think about is if we're facing an aging population, a shrinking age working population, how do we invest in a talent pipeline when there are just simply fewer workers around? That's going to take a big investment in human capital.
Hey, I just wonder what those moves are that companies do or that countries do that you think are successful. I mean, when you think of Japan as the example to this, they're doing more and more to try and get women in the workforce. It's hard to boost your birth rate at the same time you're trying to get women to come into the workforce, especially in a workforce where there aren't enough days off. There's a very serious long day that goes along with that. What are countries doing that helps? Is it spending more on childcare so that women can work and have kids? Is it doing more to pay people to stay home? I mean, it's a complicated question, and when you push on one lever, you inevitably want.
So yeah, man, this is right here. Like I said, in America, this is wow. When I really think about it, it can be worrisome and everything because we drop the drop of the birth rate here in America, and also it's that's Japan and South Korea, they have slow start birth rate as well. It can affect the economy in a way. It really can. It really opened my eyes to it a little bit. So go ahead, Hakeem, man. What's your take with the U.S. is follows the birth rate? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Jordan, me and you talk all the time. You know how I feel about kids. This is the effects of, I don't want to say feminism. I don't want to say women putting their goals before family. This is the effect of it, bro. In the 80s and the 90s, when we were seeing all our friends having kids and they said, man, they done messed up their life, we might not even have people to be working at hospitals because the birth rate is so low. New doctors, new football players, whatever you think. The negative to say, I want to travel, I want to see the world. You don't want to have a look when you don't prioritize pro-family thing. It's a lot more men now who don't have kids. It's a lot more women now who don't even want children anymore. What is that going to do for our future? This is why when I hear talking points, oh, I'm the rich auntie, I'm going to do this and that, I say, okay, no, I want my own family. I want 8. You know me, Jordan. How many times I said I want about 10 kids?
Yeah.
And everybody sitting here say, oh, I don't want no children. Oh, I don't want to hurt my body. What about the future of America? There's, you know what I mean? And we need to really think about that. We need to think about the rhetoric that's spewing that's this. No, America ideology in the last 5 years have made a lot of women choose not to want to be pro-family anymore. They want to be pro-self. Shout outs to the
The
cynical one.
cynical one. We see you.
So I'm asking, if we have a declining birth rate, a lot of us going to be ending up in geriatric homes and stuff like that because we might not have nobody to take care of us. But a lot of people are banking on they're going to make the money to be able to be taken care of. So we need to think about this and need to think about the rhetoric they're spewing to black people here who says you got Planned Parenthood, who we literally abort 1 million babies a year. And the women say, hey, I just want to prioritize career. Nobody say you can't have your career.
Question: why you think? Do you think when we remember we talked about a couple years ago about Roe versus Ray? Do you feel like this is one of the reasons they put this on that?
I believe so. But when you do that, look what the effects. You know who's not having. You know one continent they did not say who having an issue. Africa. Africa is the leading country with the most young people. Certain countries in average have an average from 21 to 25. It's a lot of young people in Africa. A lot of young people. They're still having tons of kids. We need more children, but overall, there's a declining birth rate even in London, even in Italy, even in Portugal. A lot of people are prioritizing other things than being pro-family. They don't see it to even work. They don't even care about lineage anymore. Women say, forget your dusty last name. Forget your dusty kids. The negativity of having children and prioritizing fun trips, going to Dubai to be a dumpster and having these pictures. Who's going to enjoy the pictures with you? I would love to have 5 children. We all on the plane. I'm taking me and my young niggas to Egypt.
That like button on Instagram is a drug, Hakeem. It's addictive.
It is a drug. African countries also have lower life expectancies. Woo! I know. The queen is it. I understand that PhD, but PhD, what are we going to do with declining birth rates? I'm gonna have to drop the link for the queen of the
Mhm.
SBG game to come in here because I know she's gonna spank me, but I gotta hear. Huh?
I want to say this though, we're like I said, it's not a major problem here, but it can continue to be a major problem. But Japan has a major problem. You know what Japan's doing right now?
Yeah.
They call the Black Americans say, hey, we need your help.
Yeah.
We the Black Americans, come on. I don't know, they say the incentives and everything, but they call us Black Americans to come over there and procreate and help with the economy. Up in South Korea, they call any American, hey, we'll pay you 50K a child if y'all can come help us.
Yes.
50K a child in South Korea just to do that. Because they're suffering with the economy and everything.
They are, and we are suffering. Don't get me wrong. We've seen a lot of negative things happen growing up in the 90s, which I can understand why a lot of women are turned off by wanting to have kids. They don't see the value in it. it does make me feel like I understand that, but I know seeing trauma might make other people not see the value of it. But there's the beauty to having children, and
But the thing is, Hakeem, the name is important for me. You know, I have a daughter. You know, hopefully I'll have more kids. My wife want to have two. I want to have four and everything. You know, I have four. You know, I'm not pushing and everything, but that's what I would like and everything. And for me, when I think about that, you know, I just want to help build a generation and everything. So once my kid is good, you know, I'm not thinking this is not my kid. You know, if my daughter, she have, you know, kids, great grandkids, you know, I want to make sure, you know, if like I said, if Kale Coach Ray will blow up and everything, grandkids don't need to worry about anything. You know, it'll be an easier life for them and everything.
mm-hmm.
You know, and also being in a tight, close family and everything, I see how, you know, how we help each and each every one of us and everything. You know how you can build wealth by building a family, and you know, and build by generation and everything. You know, and you know, and you know, and that's the more I think about family and everything. It's about, you know, building a generation. You know, make sure, you know, they get what they need, and you know, and also just build wealth. You know, for my bloodline and everything. But the thing is like in America, we don't think about that no more. You know, we think about, you know, being, you know, being more individual, and you know, try to live the best life we can live.
Self-preservation.
Yeah, exactly. Self-preservation is, and you know, if we die alone, we die alone. You know, which is cool and everything. But the thing is, it's like, what are you leaving in this earth other than you being selfish? You know, what can other people talk to you about when they talk about, you know, when you died, and people, you know, coming to, you know, talk about you, how you was and everything. You know, they might talk about the good times and everything, but what have you impacted for your generation that people can talk about?
Yeah.
And that's what I think about. You know, that's what I think about. You know, how can you impact your bloodline? How can you impact, you know, future generation, and keeping it in the name and say, hey, you know, there's the Lewis family 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 100 years ago. This is how it started. You know what I'm saying? And that name will keep pushing and everything. You know, and that's how I think about family in a way. And you know, looking at the birth rate, how it's falling down in America. I mean, it's falling. It's not very dangerous as we're begging, say, hey, you know, your next income tax, we're throwing an extra, you know, $1,500 or extra $2,000, you know, for your kid and everything. Which I can see that happening if it keeps declining and everything. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, I feel like, you know, family is important because, you know, not just, you know, love, you know, buying everything, but also financially, and also how your name is as well. It can build for generations and generations.
Go ahead, PS Diva.
Go ahead, PS Diva. Thank you for coming talking about.
I appreciate you gracing us with your beautiful presence.
Look at you. How y'all doing?
You know, I'm smitten by your intelligence.
Is that right?
I am quite.
Okay. All right. Well, so, you know, I heard you saying, you know, y'all were talking about the birth rate declining, and the women, at least in this country, and apparently many others, are prioritizing career and self, which I guess someone referred to it, I think it was Jordan, as like selfish. But I just think you have to consider that, okay, for many years, women were primarily concerned with home and hearth, right? But that wasn't really appreciated by men, right? And so now that there's being more of a shift, y'all want us to go back to prioritizing that, but you all didn't even appreciate it when the women did. And now that the danger alarm is sounding, now we supposed to, you know, be willing to put, you know, America, or, you know, just society ahead of our own desires and what's in our own best interest. And I just, once you know, take the genie out of the bottle, you can't stuff it back in, right? And so I think men have to decide what they truly prioritize and make some changes on their end, and not just be looking at the women. Because one of the comments I put in the chat was Dubai, and even if you being, I guess, a dumpster for many women, being a dumpster in Dubai is always going to trump being with a $50,000 man, right? Because that woman, not only is she gonna have to have the children and do a lot of the child care and that type of stuff, but she also gonna have to get out and work too. And so you can't put the burden on women for all of this, right? Because not only do we hold the burden for carrying and birthing the children, but we also have a large part of the burden for sustaining the family economically. And so I think men, if you want that, a woman to prioritize family and having children and, focusing on family, then y'all gonna have to focus on some stuff too. And you're not gonna be able to just have a willy-nilly existence, right? So, there are many ways that people can give back to society or have a legacy that don't just involve children. So if I start a scholarship program for a trust that funds a scholarship program for whatever population that goes on in perpetuity, to me, that's more of a legacy than somebody's knucklehead son that's in and out of jail their whole life, right?
No, you're right, but that's not always the case, though.
It's not, but in many instances, it is the case, and it's not a whole lot of generational wealth being generated, right? So we can look back to the times when we had very high marriage rates, talking about Black people. It still wasn't a whole lot of wealth being generated. So I think a lot of the arguments that are made in favor of women focusing on and prioritizing family life, they're specious arguments, because they didn't actually, even when we had that situation, it didn't actually come to fruition.
Okay, I do want to say this too, because for me, I'm not blaming no women. I blame both sides. I blame men too, how to our king, because that's all the men don't want to have kids either. And I would say this too. Ever since like the red pill space came up on YouTube and everything, and how the red pill talk about build your own and everything, and then kind of talk about the modern woman and everything, and as you see, we have a rise of incels here in America and everything. There's a lot of men don't want to have kids either. You know what I'm saying? So with that is, it's like, okay, cool. We understand the women, the rise of independence, which is it's still fresh. It's still kind of like a first, second generation and everything, because it's like I said, the women start being independent. It's not even 100 years old and everything. So it's still kind of fresh and everything. So we're still trying to kind of have for men kind of marinate and everything, and how the economy is and everything. So it's still fresh for us. And also with the men as well, like I said, a lot of men don't want to have kids and everything. This is, I'll say for both sides, this is kind of fresh for us of the times we living in and everything. About the women, they're working more, they want to make their own money and everything, and it's fresh. With the men, it's like, okay, we're seeing this, this is different because we're not used to women being out there working all the time, working 40 hours and everything, and how the economy is shifting and how prices is going up, inflation, groceries, houses and everything. It's looking like there's gonna be two parents gonna be working 40 hours, full-time job, working 40 hours a week and everything, So with that, it's like it had people from men and women. It's like, okay, especially living in major cities and everything, you really can't afford to live in a one-bedroom apartment and everything. You're gonna need somebody to help you out with that. If you have a roommate or you with a chick, in a relationship or marriage and everything, and you're gonna have two people in the household in order to pay rent and everything for an average person and everything. So how I think about, that's one of the reasons how the birth rate is kind of falling down and everything, because the economy is rising. And and some people are still trying to figure out, average people, how can I pay my rent? How can I get food and everything, all the type of things. So I just feel like we're at the times we're right now, we're still trying to figure it out, and that's why some people are delaying to have kids or don't want kids whatsoever and everything. So how me and my wife are doing it and everything. We live in a really good apartment. We make really good DC money and everything. So what we doing? Well, I know for me, Couch Culture Radio, you were building a business. So, once, years later, I could quit my job, I could do this, we could do this full time and everything. I just really, people just realize, if you have a full time job and everything, if you have a family and everything, having a 401k, because average person, you're gonna need a 401k. A lot of companies offer that and everything. And if you start saving in your 20s and everything, even you save in your 30s, if you could save that well, by the time you retire in 30, 35 or 40 years and everything, if you saved at that amount at the right time, you can retire a millionaire, I don't think a lot of people don't know that. Average people don't know that, if you stay with a company, for 30 plus years, and put in a 401k, if you save right, you can retire as a millionaire. But there's some people that I work with that's young, they don't think about, saving. They think about spending. So I feel like, and I also feel like a lot of people are kind of lost, especially our younger generation. They're lost about, how to spend money, how to save money and everything. And then, when they look at, try to rent an apartment for themselves, they can't afford it. And they don't know how to, like, hey, do I need a second job? People don't want to work a second job. They just want to have one job and everything. So I just feel like at the times we should figure it out of what we can do to make more money. Go ahead, I can.
No, definitely. So I want to PhD. I know you mentioned that men. So I know black men and black women relationships here in America has been fractured, and a lot of it has shifted due to ideologies, right? Some of it is trauma. We've all seen people in our lives had kids and seen things didn't go the way we expected. So people have a different idea on how relationship to go. So I do understand that traditional patriarchy will not work in today's modern time, nor traditional matriarchy. A partnership probably is the best way to go about it. But the question is, how can we repair the relationship with women as men to get to a point where a woman can feel comfortable enough to want to have children? Now, mind you, you women now, and I've noticed, want to live your own lives, right? PhD?
What do you mean by want to live our
Meaning
own
that
lives?
live your own lives is as far as what men identify as life is not the same as what a woman wants to do nowadays. Because right now we're two different people, so you might look at life a little bit different the way I look at life, right?
Mhm.
You went to school, you prioritize your education, you've been successful with that. And I know you don't want to get married, right? And I know you
No.
don't want to have children either. Yeah. You want to leave all your money for your niece and nephew.
If I don't
If
spend
you
it
don't fit
all
enough
first.
first. But then I understand that. But then as somebody as intelligent as you, why wouldn't you want to pass that intelligence on to a child? Or that wealth of knowledge that you have. You know what I mean?
Well, so that's the thing. I don't have to have children in order to pass on
Mm.
knowledge, right? Knowledge is fairly easy to pass on. I could write a book, right? I have nieces and nephews that I can instill knowledge in. I could start a program for children where I instill knowledge in them. So there are a lot of different ways to instill knowledge and pass knowledge on that wouldn't involve me carrying and birthing a child. Don't
Hey,
breathe
I
hard.
can't. It's
What's up?
fine. The thing is,
No.
what she just said. Hakeem's like it's like we have to deal with that. It's not everybody's not gonna have a child.
I understand that, but it just hurts me to hear that because you have women who are ideal candidates to be mothers who don't have the love for it. And this is and I can understand. Men has turned women off to this whole having kids stuff. I've seen it happen. I am frustrated, Natasha Vincent. I am frustrated.
Well, I think one thing to like you previously you said, it requires a
Yes.
partnership. And so it's very difficult to have a partnership when you're talking about something like having children, right? The woman has to do all the work. Outside of the first fun part, the woman got to do all of the work in terms of creating that baby, right? And then birthing that baby into existence. So it's difficult. How do you have a partnership in that respect when her body is bearing the brunt?
No,
of it?
you're
I'm sorry, go ahead.
100% right. When I'm meaning a partnership, I think that there's something I can agree with a lot of women on this. I think that a lot of men have been insensitive of the process of a woman having a child and what they deal with as far as postpartum depression and as far as not putting the amount of effort into mitigating those things. And I say, if we can come to a point where you meet somebody who understands the danger, because I had to learn this too. I have sisters who have kids. The danger, the mental factor that comes into it, and understanding that, okay, I'm willing to do whatever the labor, whatever it takes to say, because let me tell you something, the greatest, and don't get me wrong, women have so many other things that they provide. I want to put that out there. I want to put that in because I don't want, and I know y'all are more than just having kids. I know that. With y'all, a lot of our communities won't be intact if there's a woman not there, because most men are out working. Women are the ones who raise the children. Women are the ones who create create the people that we have. But the point I'm trying to say is, if a man can understand the flight of a woman having children and willing to meet you, we can't meet you on the birthing aspect of it, but we can't meet you on that. But what if we can meet you on the point of being more supportive than what we have in the past, than what our fathers have been, to try to understand as far as being a partnership and say, hey, don't worry, babe, I'll take care of the kid. You go off and do your own thing. You feel me? You want to know something? You had the greatest sacrifice you did was put your body in labor, and to be like, hey, maybe you need a week off from with the children. You go off and go live your life and come back home, so it won't be such a burden. Because now, go ahead.
No,
So,
go ahead.
because now I understand, when I hear women hear about having children, it sounds more of a burden than a beautiful thing. Go ahead.
Well, so I think, so certainly the outcome of it is a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
the child, the baby, right? But I don't think the process, and I think it was romanticized, but the process hasn't been a beautiful thing ever, right? When women are literally losing their hair, losing their teeth, because that baby is
Or
leaking
sometimes losing
calcium from the
blood.
baby
Have a
bone, from the
C-section.
woman's bones. Right. But even before we get to birthing the baby, just the process of making that baby, right? They're losing teeth, losing hair, sick all the time, can't keep anything down. But that baby is like a little parasite, and it's gonna get what it needs regardless, right? Fucking up your hormones, all of these different things. And so again, I get that, men can be more supportive and try to, lift some of the burden off the women after that process is done and the baby is here. But the process of creating and bringing that baby into existence, there's no way to shift that burden,
No.
right? And so then the other thing is, why is it like, okay, so women, it used to be much more common in previous generations for women to die in childbirth. And so why is it just now, when we see like the societal effects of women saying, opting out of having children, that it's like, oh, well, let's be more supportive, men, right? Like, you should have been doing that.
No, you're 100% right. Shout outs to Houston's finest. Jalen's in the building. Jalen, do you want to go ahead, Jalen? If you
I want to say this too about, I just got a little liquor in my cup. I don't know if you see. That's probably my eyes might look like I'm high. I just got a little liquor in my cup. That's all. Go ahead, Jalen.
Go ahead, Jalen.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. And thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Yes, appreciate you.
Oh God, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for that. I wanted to hear PhD finish before I went.
Oh no, I was finished. I was just saying there's no way to really shift the burden of creating a baby and birthing it into existence on the men's part.
So Hakeem, my question for you is, why is there a source of contention when it comes to women expressing that they may not want motherhood in their life?
So I've expressed this to y'all very much, even PhD, but and PhD might have a bit of understanding of this because she's from the same city as me. You know, I'm Caribbean. You feel me? And I think maybe particularly for my thing is my family has always prioritized family and children. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I guess now as I'm getting older, I still have a traditional mindset. You know what I mean? Most of my family members are married. My sister recently just had twins. And this will make a third child. So I say shit, I want the same thing for that. But when I meet women who I think are ideally the type of woman who I know, don't get me wrong, I do agree this point. Not everybody should be having kids. Not every man should be able to procreate because they're not putting out the best part. But then I'm saying like, okay, you have a lot of women who are great mothers, who could be great mothers, but I know the idea of it doesn't seem worthwhile, and that just hurts me to hear that when I hear women who I know who could be great mothers or who can provide so much. And I know y'all can pour into other people, but it just feels like it's a difference when it's your own.
Okay, I got a question for you. I got a question. Have you had any of your family members or the woman that you have dated as woman that you dated, you can say, hey, you know, you see her and you see how she treats these kids, and you be like, wow, I don't think she should never be a mother. Have you experienced that in your family or
Never.
friends ever? Well,
No.
I can say this, I experienced that and I experienced it before in my lifetime and everything. And you know, and I see that, you know, there are some women who do have kids, they are not capable to be mothers and everything. I've seen sometimes that there are women that are capable of keeping mothers, either the sister, the grandmother will take guardianship over the grandchild or the sister kids because you know they're not a mother, you know. And the thing is about it, Hakeem, you know, with Supreme Diva, with PhD Diva, I hear what she's saying. You know, if she don't want to, you know, she's not the person in this earth who, you know, doesn't
It
want to
hurts me.
or doesn't want to have kids, you know, which is fine and everything.
It hurts me to hear that.
I know it's hurts Hakeem, but the thing is like I get it because, you know, there are some women who's not built on that. You know, every woman in this earth is not built to be a mother. You know, I just want you to in your head, Hakeem. It's not like that. You know, it's not the cream here, you know, in the world like that, here in America like that. So my thing is this is like, as men, you know, we just got to be more understanding of if you go out and date a woman, if you don't, you know, if y'all date, the first question you ask, you want kids or not? She says no. Okay, cool. If you want kids, Hakeem, you just want to the next one. To somebody will have kids, or the kids that you want, Hakeem. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of women in this, I'm gonna say here in America, especially our black women, they do not want to have kids, which is totally fine. But there are women that do want to be mothers, who do want to have kids, one or two and everything. And the thing is, Hakeem, I'm gonna give you a step right here, especially with black women here in America. You know, they are, when it comes to hospitals and everything, there are some hospitals that do not care about black women.
That's a fact.
When they go into labor and everything, or something's going wrong, they try to call the nurse and everything. They look at the monitor, see how the baby is and everything. They say, "Oh no, you're okay" and everything. But the thing is, there might be something wrong with her. And then all of a sudden, you know, the baby, the child, she gave birth to the child, and then a week later, you know, the mother's gone. I'll say this, my mother, you know, not with my brother and everything, you know, she got sick by my brother once, I think she got an infection with my little brother and everything, and she was telling doctors and say, hey, I think there's something wrong and everything. And they said she was fine. And then a week, I think it was a week and a half later, my mom wasn't feeling well. She had to go to the doctors and the hospital had to kept her. And she would have come a day or two later, my mom would have been here. Me and my brother would probably live with my grandparents right now. So what I'm trying to say, Hakeem, when it comes to especially black women in this country, when it deal with hospitals and everything, a lot of hospitals don't care about black women when they pregnancy, when it comes to birth and everything. And there's a lot of women I've seen, it's like, when they see that stat right there, they be like, I don't know, it's more like, I'm gonna lean back and everything, I might not want to have a kid, or be a mother and everything, which is totally fine. We have, here in 2024, there's a lot, we have Google, we can stop anything to do our research and everything, we didn't have this 20, 30 years ago about the information that we have now. Now that, men and women, we know more information, and I feel like man needs to look on information about what, what some of these hospitals do with black women, especially becoming pregnant and everything. A lot of hospitals really don't care about black women, When it said it's something wrong, but they look at the monitor, it says fine and everything. So, we're more, like I said, here in 2024, we're more, especially the black women, they're more educated about pregnancy and everything. And it might push some black women away, but there are some black women they still want to have kids now.
It's declining fast.
It's not declining fast as the government said, hey, if you have kids, we'll put extra $2,000 or extra $3,000, in the income tax. It's not like South Korea where they'll pay you $50K per child and everything. Or while I talk about Japan, they call black Americans to come to Japan, and get the birth rate up and everything. We're going down, but we're not as bad as in South Korea, which is they try to give out money in Japan and everything. So I just feel like here in America, especially with black women, they're just more educated about the pregnancy and birth and everything. And it might push some black women away, but there are some black women, they know the risk of pregnancy. It's like, what the hell, I do want to be a wonderful mother. And I do want to have a child in this world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Go ahead, Jalen.
It's not even just the pregnancy, the stigma around pregnancy. It's just some women are not born with the infliction of wanting to become a mother. And they shouldn't be told that they're wrong or there's something wrong with them because they don't have that natural, quote unquote, feeling that people say women are supposed to have. There's nothing wrong with a woman that may not want to be a mother. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But what do you do when you meet people who want to have a family? How do y'all ladies combat that? You know what I'm trying to say? PhD and Jalen, how do you combat when you're out here meeting men who want to have children and y'all don't want to have children? What do you do after that?
Did Jalen say she didn't want to have children?
Oh, yeah, I
don't think she
dual
did.
income, no kids. That I should put that on a shirt.
You want to be a dink?
Dual income, no kids.
So just by being transparent in the beginning, right? So when you're first getting to know people and trying to figure out if you're compatible, and you're talking about what it is you want from a relationship, out of life, that type of thing, you let it be known that I'm not having any children. And so if that person, wants children, then y'all gonna say, okay, well, we're not compatible for each other, and you move on.
Do you think men have an issue hearing that or dealing with that contentious, meaning that, okay, she don't want no children, so there's something wrong?
No, not necessarily. I think many of them don't take it serious. So they think like, oh, well, once she starts, liking me, then she'll want a family with me. And then if you still don't, some of them will attempt to trap you against your will, right?
By taking that rubber off.
Yeah. And they might try.
Or poking holes in the rubber. Or poking holes on it.
Right. So right. So there are men who do stuff like that, and that's
No,
not
no, no,
funny,
no.
right?
It's not. It's not funny at all. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. I understand it. I guess maybe I'm just an outlier, and I may be so old school. He said, no, there's choice if they don't want kids, and I'm so old school. You know what I mean? That I want children. I'm from Florida. I want a lot of barefoot babies running around. Is that wrong for me to want that?
No.
You,
No, people are. You
you
can
know what I'm
want what you
saying?
want, and there's a woman out there who
Yeah,
wants it too. That's the
and
thing.
that's the thing, and I love it. But don't get me wrong. But when I hear women like y'all who are so smart and intelligent, there's so much you could just be giving back just by having a couple babies.
I think you can give way more to
I,
the world than just babies.
PhD even said it. I understand it, but I'm just saying for me, maybe my glasses is a little bit too foggy.
No, but do you really think building a nuclear family, just you and your family, is gonna solve the world's problems?
No, 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 no. It's
Right.
not.
So it's just a minute part of life when you look at it,
You see, it's hard.
compared to like philanthropic events that are happening in the world that are actually helping people in these third world countries and things like that. I think I'm not trying to demean like building a family. There are other things you can do to add to this world other than building a family.
Hakeem, I got a question. What's the difference of a woman that said I don't want to have kids and a man saying I don't want to have kids?
There's no difference. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? I think that here's the thing. I think it's a hard pill to swallow when you have an ideology that you've been raised on for so long. To hear something that is fundamentally opposing that is quite, what I mean, people will look at it different. Because let's be real, lots of time too, I look at this too. A lot of women come from trauma situations. A lot of men come from trauma situations. But here's the thing: you're in a dating space or in a space where people all think different. You're gonna tend to bump into people who think majority the same. And you also understand too, as people get older, their idea starts to change. The way they think, the way they view things starts to change. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are firm, fast in what they believe in. But then, what I mean, you might wake up one morning, somebody you have been with for 10 years who didn't want no kids, he say, yeah, I think we should have a baby. You know what I mean? I've always been like that. And to be transparent, that's kind of the reason most of my relationships did not last. I've met women who didn't want to have children. I want kids. I want a lot of them.
So Hakeem, when they say you want to have kids, did you still date them anyways?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
I killed the situation right after that.
Okay.
Even if I might wanted to tap that ass, but I had to be,
You know,
you know what I mean? Even if I wanted to tap that ass, I still fantasize about that. So then I can still tap that ass, but then I'm saying it ain't gonna mean nothing because we all know that people stay the same. And I don't want to breed resentment with you
Mhm.
if I know that's not what you want. But I have met women sometimes who try to change my mind on it at time. Like, oh, you getting too old to be having kids. I had a woman told me that. Oh, like, you know what I mean? But here's the thing. I try to put myself to try to understand a woman's flight. That's what I'm learning every day. Let me try to understand women more and what they're going through with the situation. Even though still trying to not suppress my own needs, I'm trying to understand the needs of a woman. And I think that this is something that men we might need to work on a little more to conversate and say, hey, are we overshadowing the needs of women? Okay, a lot of women might not want to have kids. A lot of women might not want to stay home. You might grow up like that. She might not want that. I had learned that a patriarchy is not going to work in today's modern time. I meet a lot of women who do not believe in it, and I had to accept it. I said, okay, no problem. I meet a lot of women who I can't impose me being a leader to them or me trying to control them. You know what I mean? Because you know that that's an aspect we men come into relationship automatically thinking that this has to go like this. So I'm learning even on that front. But there are just some things that I'm willing to work on and compromise with. I just think that's something I can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's good to hear, Akeem. You know, you're still working and everything. So,
Yeah.
like I said, Akeem, like I said, there are still women. They still want to have kids. They still want to have 3, 4, 5 kids. You know, they dream of it and everything.
Yeah.
But there's
Hey, find you a good
No, I
Haitian
don't
woman.
listen. I don't want it. What if I want to? What if I want a Black American woman? You know me.
There are plenty.
You
There are
might be in
plenty of them
trouble.
that want kids.
Yeah.
Or the thing is, Hakeem, I know a lot of, like I say, for my family, a lot of Black American women, they do want kids, but the max is 2, and that's it.
No.
It's 2.
No. We need 5 or better.
2. Like I
We
said,
need 5 or better.
my thing is, I would like I said, I would like 4. So hopefully we have twins or something like that. But you know, if we have 3, I'll be okay with that. Cause my wife, she said, you know, 3 is cool. I'm cool with that as well.
Listen, if one woman can give me 5 or 8 kids, I'll be happy.
Oh Lord.
5 or 8. Look at
listen,
that. 5 or 8.
Yeah. Listen. I'm willing to pay. Listen here.
Don't get married. Just have a couple girlfriends. That's all I'm gonna say.
But I don't want to do that. I'm still traditional. My mama ain't gonna accept that. My mama a real Haitian.
Yeah,
they not on that slutting around and stuff like that.
You know what? There's some countries do that, Hakeem. They wait till the mother died and then they have the kids.
I can't do that. My mama's still standing on business. But here's the thing. Listen, I do care about her body. But here's a disclaimer that I'm gonna give if a woman willing to give me that. If we break up, you could just leave the kids with me and leave. So you won't.
Now, if we could just get y'all to have the children, then women wouldn't mind have, you know.
No, PhD, but don't do that, man. Don't do that. Don't.
We can get y'all pregnant and then leave y'all whenever we get ready.
No, that's the thing. But no, I don't want that to happen. But I'm
Well,
willing.
you know,
Because I don't mind paying a little bit of child support. That means
No, you can't.
Right.
Listen. You.
No, then we gonna be complaining. They put me on child support. You put me on child support.
A real man ain't gonna put no woman on child support.
You will after she done ruined your body and made you have a baby.
Well, I can't. You never know. I'm just saying. I was gonna say that.
Yeah, what you
I'm just saying times are changing everything. You know, a lot of men, their mindsets is changing.
No,
it is.
Right.
So I'm just saying, not just women, but man mindsets is changing as well. We're like I said, this whole, you know, women being independent is still fresh. You know, it's not 100 years old yet. So this is something new. This is something new to us. We just got to figure it out.
But it's catching fast though. It's catching fast. I don't want it to spread all over because it's a lot of good women that want to have kids.
Yeah.
Then you hurry up.
Yeah, it's still gonna be women who want to have kids.
PhD, but when I heard you ain't want to have children, I was devastated to hear that.
Because he really likes you. That's why.
No. Hey, listen. She's very smart, so when I hear that, it just make me like.
How can you? Not just that, you really like her too.
No. I like the type of person she is. I like that you stand on business on the SBG side. On that SBG side with them butter soft queens, cocoa butter queens. You know what I'm saying? The butter soft cocoa butter queens. You know that's been the hot topic all over the space now.
Wait, what? What do you mean butter soft cocoa butter queens?
Brownsville butter soft cocoa butter queen.
Oh, absolutely not, sir. Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know what I mean? He been turning up the streets. A lot of men are not agreeing with the butter soft cocoa butter queen terminology.
Well, what is there not to be? What is there not to agree with? That he's telling men that they need to treat women with respect and make the center of their life God and other good values. What's there to
okay,
not
I
agree
think
with?
it's the verbiage that he spews because
All I've heard these men say is they got a problem with him giving respect to all the women.
Oh,
All women don't deserve
And that is
respect.
the
Yeah,
most
I've heard that
insane
too.
statement, because you don't know not now one
Right.
of these women to be calling them anything other than a queen or whatever. Anything respectful.
Right.
So I don't get
so
it.
here's the thing, and I'm gonna tell you why most men think it sounds like it's pandering. It's okay to call a woman by her last name or miss, but when you call a person queen or you cocoa butter or any of that nature, it sounds like you're pandering. And we all know this. Women don't like to be pandered to. They want to be respected.
Well,
They want to be
right.
Go ahead.
So why don't the men have a problem with when they hear all the different assortment of men who get up on in these spaces and call women bitches and
I
hoes?
don't
They'll sit right there
listen.
and listen to it and not say a word. So, but
Yeah,
I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying, how could you have a problem with somebody using queen as a general term, but you see no issue with another person using bitch or hoe as a general term for women? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Now you have a point there. The dichotomy is kind of now. Most men will sit back and see that. I've been in the clouds and I've heard that, but this is where we say as men we are guilty too, because we do not hold a lot of men accountable, especially in these spaces. There's a lot of people who I do not support due to the fact that they crash out. You will never see me on a show like that. I do think that there is a mentality in this space. Certain individuals, I don't want to mention their names because I don't want to start no beef, who have an ideology that is destructive. And you could tell that ain't no respectable women are going to be with them long term. I do understand that there are men who will sit idling by. I'm not stuttering. I just don't want no problems because I know how problems can quickly.
Sugar Bum is wild.
Huh?
I like Sugar Bum. Well, no. So the thing is, if you can sit idly by, why are they okay with not holding men accountable until it's a man respecting women? That's so crazy. Do y'all realize what that says about that particular demographic of men, right?
No, it does.
It's only a problem when a man step on the scene and say, hey, you know what? Let's respect all the women. Now it's an issue. But when, plenty of men been on the scene, still on the scene, who say, fuck these bitches. They all bitches, they all hoes, and y'all sit idly by, and not y'all, but the men sit idly by and say, oh, well, we don't like to hold people accountable. That it just doesn't make sense. And so I think black men, y'all got to do some.
And I think that one of the reasons is that I'll just say this: the camera right here. I feel like some black men when they feel like they have a camera in their face, they feel like it's some type of power. You get what I'm saying? It's like they have a camera in their face and they see the chats and then in the group panel, they feel like there's some type of power to have a camera and also use their voice to speak to, people and everything. And they feel like they say, bitches and hoes and everything because they feel like the camera, they're showing that camera that it has some type of power, which is not the case. That's not power and everything. And I feel like sometimes, it's something wrong right here of what power really is and everything. And, and what a leader should look like and everything. And I feel like people who does say, bees and hoes and all that type of stuff, feel like they feel like they have some type of power and everything. That's not really power. They feel like it's power, but it's not. And I feel like, for black men, when teaching, what's the right way to use that power of, respecting women, saying queens or something like that out of usual. Because we say bees and hoes and everything, they think of that as power, but that's not power. You say those type of things, to a woman. Women are not gonna think, women don't think that you have some type of power, And those type of men, they don't have a relationship. barely been in relationships like that. I mean, they would never be in a relationship or never get married, something like that.
But let me ask you a question. Do you think that even for a lot of people out here in this space, I generally think that a lot of this is just for sensationalism. There's a particular person who says that. I think he does that for sensationalism. I know in real life he can go around calling people bees and hoes. Real men would jump on him. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I think that a lot of stuff people do.
And also, Hakeem, the thing is, it's like they don't, like I said, there's some channels that don't have, you know, thousands of viewers like the big channels and everything. When they see, you know, people that's like, you know, let's say our chat, we have like 8, 9, 10 people in the chat and everything, and you know they'll use that as power and everything because if they walk out, you know, outside and everything. They don't live in your city, you know. They live all the way to New York, all the way to Florida and everything, all that type of things. And you know, they feel like they're safe in their city. But once you have thousands of people watching your chat and everything, 5, 10,000 people, and then maybe one of them lives in the same city, and you might see a chat and say, "Hey man, why you disrespect a woman like that?" I mean, no, if I see you in the streets, I'm gonna bust you.
But yeah, here's the thing though. A real man cares about his image and his reputation. So the way you present yourself on the internet is the way people are going to see you online. That thing will trickle back. Exactly. If you do not care how you represent yourself as a man, you're not the type of man I need to hang with.
And that's the problem, Hakeem. And that's the problem with representing and everything. You represent yourself the wrong way on YouTube, people gonna look at you like that. They gonna look at you sideways and everything. If you act like that here, you might act like that in real life. But sometimes that's not the case. But the thing is, it's like the perception we see you, you know, your face, how you talk and everything. Like for me, I give maybe, I know me, you, Hakeem, Ronnie, you probably give, you know, 80% of ourselves and everything.
Yeah.
80%. Which is, you know, being authentic, you know. People see us, you know, on the chat, you know, we don't talk about, you know, we live these big lives and everything. We talk like average people living average lives and everything, you know, and we bring like 8% of ourselves on the YouTube space and everything, and people can see, it's like, okay, you know, let me see, let's go on his Facebook and everything. Let me see his Instagram and everything. Okay. He kind of talks like when he talks on YouTube and everything. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing about it is, I also want to know this is where things starts to get a little bit blurred, because I was on somebody else's channel and they was mentioning that a lot of this leans towards, because I just heard the term on the SBG channel, Rim Brothers. I don't know what that means. So
right.
Red pill men, incel men, manosphere men, those no good
stuff. but let's be honest about it. Can we really say these people are following the ideology of RIM 100%, or are they just doing this for sensationalism?
Well, that's the thing. We don't have to say that those people are following the ideologies of RIM 100%. So it's wild that when it comes to that label, now we need to be sure that people are 100% aligned with one or all of those groups. But when it comes to calling women bitches and hoes, we don't have to make sure that she 100% a bitch or a hoe, right? We can just throw that around whenever we get ready to. But then when there's a word for the men, now we need to be 100% sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, not even a reasonable doubt. That's even a higher bar than in a criminal court, right? So, but beyond a shadow of a doubt that this man is 100% aligned with, you know, one of those ideologies. That's crazy.
No,
Or as soon as we agree with another woman, we're part of the sisterhood, or we're a feminist,
right?
We're a femcel. Like, it's yet the Rim Brothers, we gotta fucking do a whole fucking behavioral examination to determine what. Like, really? That's stupid.
Yeah, you see it.
So I now understand where you're coming from. So this has to be a point where men just got to jump out the woodwork and just start holding everybody who's on that dumb shit accountable. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if you were if you were content to sit idly by and keep your mouth shut when women were being called out of
Yes.
our names, then be content to sit idly by now and keep your fucking mouth shut. When y'all being called Rim Brothers, or when these niggas being called Rim Brothers.
I just
Look.
you see, you know where I'm about to go at with this, right?
Go
I
ahead.
think that these talking points on both ends just gonna breed, it's just divisive.
Right, but it don't become divisive until there's something going at the men. Now, y'all heard black men getting on wax, right? For decades and calling black women indiscriminately bitches, hoes, chicken heads, and any other name they could come up with to disrespect and denigrate us. But now it only becomes divisive because we can turn right around and say, well, you rim brother. Now it's divisive. Come on, you can't do it.
And I get that, but I'm just saying, when is it gonna stop though? When do we come to a common ground?
Now it's time to stop. Why didn't y'all ask that it for the decades that black men were indiscriminately disrespecting black women? Why weren't y'all asking, when is this gonna stop? You rapped along with it. You
I'm a
sung
Christian
along with
based
it.
channel.
Hey, stuff like that. Stuff on YouTube and also outside the real world. I just stay away from it. And I put myself into it and everything. I just stay away from it. My wife too. We just stay away from something like that and everything, and don't let it impact our lives and everything. I just stay away.
Right, and I can respect that, but you also aren't the person that's up here saying, why y'all calling men Rim Brothers and when is this gonna stop? You know what I mean? So like you said, you keep yourself away from it on all sides. So you not gonna be asking women like, when are we gonna stop? Or, why are we disrespecting the men? It would be nice to see that level of concern when it's being directed towards or targeted towards.
Okay, so I like the fact that you did. So I'm going to ask you a serious question. Since Brownsville came out with this ideology that he's promoting, which is, we shouldn't call it an ideology. Men should respect women 100%. 100%. We should not classify or bunch them up all. If he gets in his beefs, are you going to support him and rally behind him 100%?
What do you mean? If he gets
meaning that, let's say, for instance, people start attacking him, meaning that since he's promoting respect all black women, we should respect them. And if people have contentions with it, are you going to rally behind him?
What do you mean by rally behind him?
Meaning that
he's not a martyr.
No,
right. I'm just like, what
no, because the thing I'm saying is this: like, let's say, for instance, if I start checking everybody in this space who call a B and a hoe, and I get into 100 beefs, are y'all gonna rally behind me?
And the thing is,
okay. Yes, we support.
And the thing is, Hakeem, that's entertainment. And the thing is, that's gonna get views.
But what if I'm not here for views? What if I'm really saying, let's stop calling women B's and hoes?
Hakeem, don't matter. It don't matter. It's like I say, if you have been somebody that you like call B's and hoes, that's gonna be entertainment. That's gonna get views regardless.
When my peers call me a simp,
that's gonna get That's gonna get views. This is YouTube. About that. Yes, that's gonna get views.
You say y'all not concerned about that?
Yeah. I said he's not concerned about that. Like, he don't care about the names that other men might call him. Like, because he really believes what he's saying. And so it doesn't matter to him that men may push back or get upset or say whatever. He's going to keep saying, y'all need to treat these women with respect.
Do you think his ideology is attractive enough for a woman to want to be with him?
He's married.
He got a wife for like 20 years, so clearly.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was married.
Well, I think so. Let's say if somebody else possessed his ideology, would it be attractive enough for a woman to want to be with them? Certainly, plenty of women. For the simple fact that not only does he support respecting all women, he also believes that men should remove sex from the top of their value system and have some other morals and values above and beyond sex, right? And so that's going to impact a man's behavior. He ain't gonna be out here being community dick, right? And then he also thinks that men are supposed to like bear the brunt of the responsibility for the family. So what he says is his wife doesn't have to work. She chooses to work. But what she does whatever she wants with her money. So he's the provider in his family. And he believes in that, right? And then he also, like he said, he teaches his daughter and his wife like self-defense, how to use a weapon in order to protect themselves. So I think when you hear him flesh out his ideology, I think it's certainly attractive to
E Black says that sounds like red pill.
I don't. Okay, whatever. E Black.
Hey.
Like, okay.
I don't think that.
No, he's
not red pill. I don't think that's red pill. E Black. I think that's just a man who wants to support his family. I'm just a little bit concerned about removing the sex, like no on-demand sex in the relationship.
No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying don't have it at the top of your value system.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, no, that's fair. You see. Now you're giving me clarity on the whole situation. Maybe you know what I mean. Which I think a big problem is I think we're not listening thoroughly enough because I thought it was just butter soft cocoa butter queen. You know what I'm saying? Like.
But that's the thing. The fact that y'all stop even hearing once you hear him say queens and treat all women with respect. Y'all don't hear nothing else. But that says something about y'all. Like that's so disturbing to these men that they can't hear anything else that he's saying.
So I lived in New York before, so I thought it was a God body thing. So when I heard him said that, I say, and let's be honest, I could be honest, I'm a man. I tune out after a while. You feel me? So when I heard him say queen, I said, okay, he's a 5%er. The show's over. You feel me? The show's over. I say, because I know Brazian on them, Sean Brazian and them, they from New York. So I'm like, okay, the show's over. They say butter soft cocoa butter queen. Ain't nothing to talk about. Ain't nothing to talk about.
And then like you reacted instantly.
I did.
Off of the word. But the thing is, it's like, for me, it's like, okay, you saying that, okay, but I still got to see more.
Okay, so what's the equivalent for Miami?
Oh,
we all
man,
from Miami,
that is
what's the cocoa butter queen home?
Old lady, my old lady,
see how,
my old lady, my old lady.
Bros just cannot treat a woman with dignity and respect.
That's my old in Miami. In Miami, queen is my old lady. That's my old girl.
No. But queen is a generic term for all. He calls all women queen, not just his wife. So what's the generic, respectful term for women back home?
You see, I'm kind of I don't know because we have a lot. I'm gonna be honest. In Miami, we have a lot of derogatory terms for women.
Right.
Animal, libody, Sean,
foot dragger.
Yeah. Beater.
Jesus
She's
Christ,
an eater.
what the hell?
Yeah.
No. She says
That's a lot.
Jalen. It's to say, I figure you's a hoe, but you can't help it. Because being raised by a hoe kind of helpless. A material. This was the first song I heard. So,
it's crazy down there.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, like people think Miami is that South Beach stuff you see on TV. Absolutely not.
No. It's a little bit different. What's up, Truth? So, PhD, you have a lot of points that I cannot disagree with you. Mm-hmm. The rap music has influenced a lot of us to not respect women.
Right.
The
lifestyle ain't going for it. Hold on. Stop.
I think it's like
No. I'm speaking for myself until I've been saved by God. You feel what I'm saying?
And when that's gonna happen? When that's gonna happen?
I've been saved, baby. I'm trying to get married. I want to have about 8 kids. I'm ready to get married now. You know what I mean? For you know what I mean? I'm ready. Listen, I'm on that Brownsville wave. I'm ready to pay all the bills.
Look at you.
I'm ready to pay all the bills and go out and buy pads. You know what I'm saying? I'm converted now, but I do understand this. The lifestyle in certain cities here do not promote some respect until we know. But we also say that the Black community is very multi-layered and multifaceted. Let's get that straight. Because if you're in the church community down here, or in the church community in Alabama or Houston or wherever,
Dallas,
huh?
Dallas.
Dallas, especially Dallas, because you know they have a big Christian community, the Potter's House over there.
Yeah.
I want to go see my mentor. I would love to go see TD Jakes. You know what I'm saying? This is a Christian-based channel, so I do know in certain levels in the Black community, there's levels when it comes to how do we identify Black women, or how do we visualize them.
Mhm.
If you're in the hood, we might not have a bit of a positive image, but if you're in church, we might have a better image. Or if you're a socially awkward Black person, they might have a positive image of Black women. So I just don't know, you know what I mean? It's multi-layered, and I guess it's where do you identify yourself at? It's important as a man.
It's an individual choice. I don't think we should be blaming music or any other outside entity, because you as an individual are making a choice to disrespect other people.
Absolutely.
That is a choice. You are choosing to be influenced by these negative aspects of life when you could easily choose to be influenced by positive things. You need to look inside yourself and figure out why, instead of blaming everything else.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I
facts.
agree. I do think. Well, you know what? Aren't you from Miami too, Jordan?
No, he's from Pontiac, Michigan, but he lived in Miami for some years. That's how.
Oh, okay. Then that's my out. Yeah. So
Yeah.
let me blame culture a little bit, because we are like back home. We are very disrespectful, and I know I'm
Yeah.
disrespectful too. Like even the women are like disrespectful
You
towards
don't
me,
play no
but the
games
men
with your
usually
mouth.
kick it off. The men usually kick it off though. But yeah,
Y-
we talk.
'Cause
Everybody talk crazy.
You do, because I have flashbacks when I hear you talk sometimes. I say, are we on 15? I have flashbacks. I say, are we in Modella, Florida City? When I hear you go off sometimes, I say, I have flashback. My eyes roll back. I say, I'm back. Is this you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is this the Goombay?
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, we can all make a choice, like Jalen was saying. We all can make a choice to choose to be better.
No, you're right. You're right. But I wonder, do you ever think there's a space where we can all come together and be as one? And a woman can fall into her femininity and be nice and sweet and comforting?
Well, so first off, I would say, like, what makes you think being other than nice and sweet isn't a woman being in her femininity? Like, femininity encompasses the gamut, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, I think there could be. I mean, you just have to cultivate that space, right? And I'm sure there are spaces like that. So yeah, off the top of my head, I'm not coming up with any, but I'm sure there are spaces where there's, unity, and maybe like the Pan-African type space or something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. The Pan African, and I guess this is the reason why we always talk, even as Black American women. I've even sometimes I see a lot of push and movement to advocate Black American women to maybe date within the diaspora.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? To find a man that might mimic the ideas that Black women are looking for. You know what I mean? As far as somebody who's going to be the provider, protector, and who's going to see them as their own equal and stuff like that.
Well, see, now that's the thing. The whole seeing them as an equal thing. I've been a lot of places in the Black world, and respect for women is a pretty consistent, or a lack of respect for women is a pretty consistent thing, right?
Even overseas,
Yes, absolutely,
like,
right?
like where you have been that you've seen that.
Shit, where haven't I been? Okay, so in the Caribbean, right? Jamaica got like the first or second highest femicide rate in the world, right? Domestic violence is a very commonplace issue in all of the Caribbean. I remember watching this travel guy on YouTube, but he went to Haiti, and they were bringing stuff, for they were bringing some mattress because they were in some like remote, village or whatever. I don't know if that's the right word for it. Nevertheless, they were bringing mattresses, and they told them, we're getting ready to bring these mattresses in. Let the women and children come and get them first. Okay, so they had some people lined up, the women and children. When they brought the truck and lifted up the hatch and to give them out, the men like bum rushed the women and children and took them for themselves, right? Right. When I was in Africa, I saw a lot of it. In Uganda, they're allowed to have multiple wives. Even still, many of those men will pump women up with babies and then run off somewhere else. Now, it might be with another woman they married to, but it's a lot of single mothers there, right? In Kenya, there's a lot of domestic violence, so much so that there are several villages where the women have set it up to where it's exclusively women and their children. You cannot be a man and stay there. When they have male children, when that male child gets to be of age, whatever that age is, they tell them, look, either you're going to abide by our rules or you're going to get your ass out of here, because it was so difficult to deal with the men that they had to separate themselves from the men. And so you can go around the world, right, and see that a lack of respect for women is a commonplace theme amongst Black folks.
Wow.
Well, I was right.
That's a lot to unpack.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, seeing that and being very versed in that, does that make you have a disdain for the community or relationships in itself?
No, because it's not everyone, right? In
Mm,
all of those places, I'm sure you find plenty of people, plenty of men and women who have gotten together
mm,
and coupled, and they have a good relationship, right?
mm,
Um, so no, I don't, because I think you can find it. I don't think it's I don't know. So I don't, in terms of how I look at the community, now that might be more impacted by it.
mm,
Just because I think at the community level, we need to have respect for everyone because we need everyone's contributions, right?
mm.
And so a lot of times when you see that disrespect for women, in whatever form it takes, there's still a lot of burden being placed on those same women who are being disrespected to contribute to the community in a positive way.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I don't know how to respond to that. I know you got a point, since you said there has to be a respect for everybody. So you're not like a. Do you think some people get the misconception that a lot of women might hate men generally due to the way things are, or they just want a different outcome?
I think most women just want a different outcome, but I think in being a lot of men will play crazy or be willfully obtuse and say like, "Oh, you just hate men," as a way to, I guess, shield themselves from having to make any changes, right? So if you can just deflect to, "Oh, you just hate men," then there's no work that you need to do because it's a them problem. It's a that person problem.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. No, that's definitely.
All right, Kid, I mean, I know we had a long conversation, but we
Yeah,
still have topics to discuss. I don't know
yeah.
if you want to say
I
PhD.
didn't even stay for you.
Yeah, you have the topic you want to talk about.
Because our main topic is, do older women compete with younger ones?
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Compete in what way? In what
Go
way?
ahead, King. Play the
We'll
clip.
play the video. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
play. So we try to cover these. This was a real good thing. Hold on.
switched. And like when I was growing up, I used to want to be like Felicia Rashad because I looked up to women that were older. But at this point, older women want to be younger.
Yep.
Right. So you have 40-year-old women and 46-year-old women trying to look like and act like the 23-year-old. Then how do you know? Because when you're young, you don't think there's consequences, right?
Yeah.
The only way you know there's consequences is someone, like you said, an OG pulls you to the side and is like, look, but really the culture is chasing youth. So it's like backwards. The older women want to be young. That's the only thing. Like, there are women, and I'm not, this is no disrespect, but no women in their 60s getting BBLs. Like,
That's crazy.
what is
right?
happening? What are we doing? So how can a woman who's 23 trust your leadership if you're trying to look like her? Felicia Rashad wasn't trying to look like, I was trying to be like her. But if she was, our culture switched and like on the stage with, her butt out and trying to look like me, then I wouldn't have respected her. So I feel like of course people don't believe there's consequences because the older people are lying. They're lying. They're lying. They're chasing the same thing. So you have rappers in their 40s and 50s getting into beef with Kodak Black. Like that makes no sense. There should be, like, in order to lead, you have to lead by example.
Yeah.
And to me, everybody is chasing the youth, the younger culture, which makes them disrespect. Why would I look at you? You want to be like me.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that clip, make
Yeah, that's no sense to do that, man. But what's your take, Hakeem, with this? What she's saying?
I want to hear PhD would take.
Well, so I didn't really hear her talk about the competition aspect of it. So I certainly think that, several things are happening. People are living longer, right? And people are maintaining health longer. And so your 60-year-old of today isn't the 60-year-old of, 1975 or even 1985, right? They're a lot more active and that sort of thing. So there's that. But then also, like, our culture has become very open to changing what we don't like about our external appearance. And so in the 80s, it wasn't available to most people. Most people didn't have the money to do it. It wasn't accessible. And then there was also, particularly for like Black women, there would have been a stigma surrounding it, whereas there's no longer a stigma towards it. And so I think more people are open to doing it. So I don't necessarily think that is older women competing with younger women, though, right? So everyone wants to look nice. And if, people are open to making, surgical alterations and they have the means to do it, then that's what people are doing. But she didn't really discuss other than like the surgeries or getting BBLs or, the looks aspect of it, how older women would be competing with younger women, because I really just don't see a lot of opportunity for older women to compete with younger women in the workplace. Older women have been there. So you just coming through the door. How can I compete with you when I'm 3 or 4 levels above you? What are we competing on?
What about in relationship?
Are we looking for relationships with the same people? Like, I feel like a woman in her 20s is probably going to be looking for something very different than a woman in her 40s or 60s in terms of a relationship, right? So are we even fishing from the same pool?
Mm-hmm.
That's true, Natasha. A lot of surgeons didn't have experience with Black patients. Yeah, absolutely.
No. So for me, quickly to say this, I do think when she said that, I was kind of like, a lot of the stuff that a lot of people are doing now started like 2 generations, maybe like a generation. So we're not so far removed from a person that's like from the 70s, if they grew up in the 80s or the 90s. It's like I'm from Miami, so a lot of girls I went to school with was having kids young. So their kids are 24, 25 right now. So a lot of the stuff they on now, we the ones started it. So when you see a 40-something-year-old still wearing Jordans, Jordans came out in my era. Cut up jeans came out of my era. So when I do see, that's why I said I didn't see what she meant by the competition, even to the way a lot of women look now. I said Trina is the example. She predates all these girls looking the way they look, even before even Little Kim and all of them. You feel me saying? Like when they say the bad, so I didn't understand that, but I do think when it comes to, this is one thing I do. Shout outs to Genesis I Am. When it comes to entertainment, and we starting to notice women, this is the only issue I have an issue. I wouldn't say I have an issue with it. When I start to see older women going after younger guys in entertainment, or let's say for instance, you got Drea Michelle, who's having a baby with the 20-year-old and her son's 22.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I guess I don't see no benefit for her to have a baby with that when your mindset is far advanced than him. You feel me saying?
Dre Michelle, I don't think so. It's not Dre Michelle. I'm just saying. You ever heard Dre Michelle talk?
No, you see, I don't follow that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I haven't followed that. The only thing
out stuck in the 20s, Hakeem.
You see,
Dre Michelle is one of them. I just want to say that. You just got here talking.
The thing I was looking at it was like, she's this old, her son's 22, she's having a baby from a guy that's 21. So you've passed the prime, you've dealt with so many what's going double back to doing that? And that's what I think, that when I see, are they competing, or the older women or women trying in entertainment trying to compete with young girls, you know?
Well,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Well, for me, I mean, like I said, I really can't see it now. I don't know, because I'm saying in our community, black don't crack and everything. When we look at, when we have 50s, 60s, 70s, you still like we're in the 40s and 30s and everything. So I'm still looking at the black community. So with that, how we get older and we start to look younger in the ways. I don't know if that what she means. The lady on videos is saying if they, maybe they can still go out and go out to the club and everything, or go out for a night and have some fun and everything, or go out. Okay, I mean, maybe they're the young dude in their 20s and 30s, and they make sure I still got it and everything. And maybe the young man can give out compliments and everything. And even though she's very wise for her age and everything, maybe he feels maybe some type of way that that some younger men are dating older women. But the thing is, I don't know the statistics on that, if there's a lot more younger men dating older women. So I definitely got to do my research on that and everything. But the thing is like, for me with this topic, I really don't know if there's are the older women really competing to women like that. And I'm just gonna go as far as dating and everything, all that type of things. When it comes to work and everything, you really can't compete, because majority of women who've been in their career 20 years to 30 years, you can't compete with that. You can't, because there's so much wisdom in the older women and everything. But so I'm just gonna put out relationships and everything. But like I said, I don't know statistics and everything. But at the celebrity side, you see, a couple of days ago, Hakeem, we saw, Vivica Fox. She won't go back to dating and everything.
Yeah, at 60.
At 60, and that's what and we see it. And like I said, it's not an abundance of a lot of black women that we see that's dating over their 50s and 60s and everything. Like I said, I don't know, but the thing is I just need to see more research on that and everything. If there's an abundance of women going by dating, if they're dating, younger men in their 30s and 20s.
Go ahead, PSD, for which one?
So I kind of forgot what I was gonna say, but So okay, you mentioned Drea Michelle.
Yeah.
So we know what the motivation would be for her to date that young guy, right? The money, right?
Yeah.
But so do you think that it was equally inappropriate for Shaq, big 50 some odd year old ass, to be dating some 20-year-old girl?
I thought it was nasty. He has a daughter that's 20.
Right.
I equally find that on we had a show here where we talked about there was a 69-year-old pastor that had got married to like a 20-year-old, but he was her mentor. He need to go to jail. He need to go to jail. So age gap dating, there's certain aspects of it I can see where it works, but then there's aspects where it say, oh no, this is too far.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, age gap dating, men benefit from it and women benefit from it. The only thing a woman benefit from age gap dating is resources. That's really it. From a man perspective, as we get older, if she wants to stay, she becomes our caretaker.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah.
And I can admit to that. So when I see a 40-year-old some woman dating a 21-year-old who doesn't have the finance, the intelligence, the experience that a woman has, I said, what make it make sense to me? This is why I had a problem when Erykah Badu was with the 27-year-old. I said, yo, son about that age. You dating
But the thing is, with her mindset, I can't. She thinks she don't think about her age. She just thinks like she's. For me, I think about Erykah Badu. I don't think age is not. She don't think about age whatsoever and everything. She just think about how the mindset of a person is, the mindset and everything.
I understand, but even that's one aspect in the black community I never supported. Age gap dating, I never supported that when it's too far too young.
Right.
I'm a 40-year-old something man. What I look like with a 21-year-old. Only thing we can do is.
So what's like I said, let's say what's the maximum? Let's say a woman at 25. What's the maximum age you feel like a woman at 25 should date an older man? At what age you feel like? What's the max age of an older man she should date?
30, 35. 30? Yeah, because here's the 35. Listen, a man too old is going to change the views of a woman that young. Because he's at a different level in life. He's going to try to force you into his ecosystem. You're like, hey, I'm trying to have kids. You might.
What if her? Let's say. What about her mindset? Let's say, particularly a 25-year-old. Maybe she's more wired than the average 25-year-old. And let's say she's talking to somebody that's her 40, and they can really like correlate and everything, and really have a bond. They probably have something there. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm not talking about like the average 25-year-old. Because there are some women at the average 25 who might be more wiser than the average 25-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You are right, but here's the thing.
Do not let Ruthless up here. I'm sorry, but do not let Ruthless up here.
Oh wow!
No woman don't want Ruthless on here.
You don't want to debate him, yeah?
No, it's not that, but I've been good. I haven't been showing my ass on y'all show, and I don't want to start now.
No, listen. If you want to get in your bag, baby, you got free reign. Listen.
I'm about to cuss Ruthless out.
Listen, you never know. I will never shadow your light. I don't want to shadow your. I want you to be heard. I'll never do that to you, Queen.
Look at you. You learning.
Queen, cocoa butterscotch. Listen, in my mind, I know you're red.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, though. I do think if it works at 25 with somebody that's 40 and she's mature enough to handle that, then I understand that.
Okay.
That's one thing. No matter what the Rim brothers might talk about, I never supported talking to a woman that young. I think I wouldn't even want my daughter to be with somebody my age, and I would want her to live her life. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna want some grandbabies.
What if her mindset is wiser than average?
I still won't support it. Because you want to know why?
Even if he wants to come and talk to you, and if the guy wants to talk to you and have a dinner, and you really want to talk to you and feel like he has so much love and affection for your daughter.
If she does, but I would have to see what she wants, but then I would have to explain the rest of it. Because here's the thing. I've noticed, I met a girl one time who had who had a dad that was a single dad, and he mentioned something to her. She said that, and this was shocking when she told me that, but you have some fathers like this. He said, I need to make sure that you could take care of yourself because he doesn't see any good men out here to take care of. So he told her to go to school, prioritize to go to school and make sure you make enough money to take care of yourself. So with that being said, I would equally want my daughter to have the tools and the education to understand how to identify somebody that's going to be a good mate for her.
But also, are you giving her the tools to be a wife as well?
That's what her mother's for.
But the thing is, you like I understand that, but as you as a man too, you do have proper tools to figure out if to kind of instill stuff in her to be the wife, because you probably want to, because like I said, as a man, as a daughter, you want a daughter to date somebody that's similar to you, because your daughter's gonna look up to you, and if she can find somebody similar to you that might be a little bit older, and the thing is, she brings you in, and he brings that person in that's a little bit older, and the thing is, it's like you see, and let's just say you see yourself into that older man and everything. We'd be cool with that if you see some of yourself in him that's kind of older.
You're right. If I was a good father and my actions represented herself, more than likely she would find somebody that mimicked my attributes. Then I can understand it. But still, if the man is too older enough where I say, baby,
I get it. Too old.
Too old to be like, baby, you show this thing puppy love. Let's wait it out a little bit. If he can wait until you like 25, I'll sign the paperwork. Okay. But anything under 25, I'm not gonna do that. I feel like, I think growing up in Miami and seeing single mothers at an early age made me feel like I've had homegirls who I feel like I wish they had lived their life more before they had kids early. That's why I said I'm not opposed. I think that I want people to live their life first before they make that step. I still prioritize family, but I want you to live your life first. Go ahead.
Hey, Jordan.
One thing I want to say to that, right?
Question. Ruthless, hey, you better watch it.
What's up, PhD? When you ain't sending me that money on my books yet.
How you get a cell phone in there? How you get a cell phone in there?
My other baby mama sent it.
Oh, okay. Not the other baby mama. But Jordan, I had a question. Okay, so you asked Hakeem about what qualities he would instill into his daughter to, wifely qualities. And so you're married, so you have a wife. Didn't you just have a daughter?
Yes, she's 3 months.
Oh,
she's
too cute.
Big.
Congratulations again. But so what?
PhD, you need to get on that.
Be quiet. What qualities do you plan to instill into your daughter? Like, what wifely qualities would you want to teach your daughter?
Ask the question again, because I kind of froze. Ask the question again. I froze on my part.
Oh, okay. No, I was just wondering, like, what type of wifely qualities would you want to teach your daughter?
Well, for me, what I like to teach my daughter is, it's really, I would say this. It's really having a good relationship with a man, and I want to make sure I have, with my daughter. I want to have a good relationship with my daughter and everything. Make sure that anything that I could talk to her about, and make sure be open with her and everything, because I feel like there's some fathers out there that they're kind of hard nosed and everything. You got to do this, you got to do that. and and it feel like no, and it's like, and the thing is, it's like and they really don't listen to their daughter of what they want and everything. And I wanted the father just to really listen to what she wants and everything, what she wants to do and everything. Like basic stuff like cooking and cleaning. I could do all that and all that type of things. But I just really want to instill in my daughter, how me and my wife interact with each other and everything, because it's really, and it's also, I'll say this, it's really not saying it, it's really about it's showing the action of what my daughter sees and everything. Because I could say one thing, right, but if I'm not doing the actions or what I'm saying, she eventually the one that my daughter, she's gonna say, hey daddy, when she goes, okay daddy, you told me to do this, but why you didn't do, why didn't you preach anything like that? So I feel like it's important, for me, it's the stuff I'm saying with my daughter is, and also practicing or what I'm doing as well. And it just shows stuff about what I do with my wife and everything, how me and my wife were keeping a good marriage and everything, and also stuff that's the easy part and not so easy part and everything. So basically with me, what I was telling my daughter is what I want to tell my daughter is how I am as a man. You said what?
To be cooperative to her husband.
That's
Speak to him.
Yeah. Okay. That's basically be cooperative. But the thing is, it's like. But the thing is about being cooperative. Being your husband is like why is my mom is being cooperative to me and everything. What am I doing that that my wife is being cooperative to me and everything. It is basically showing the actions what a man should do and what a man not supposed to do and everything. And especially show with your action. Like I said, I can say it with words, but I gotta practice with my actions, because any kids can say my daughter, my dad told me this and everything, but you're not pressing the action, they're gonna think otherwise.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ruthless, because I want to comment on that too.
So for the first point of older women dating younger men, let's keep it 100. They just want them young man's youth. That's what they want. In this country, if you got money, you buy what you want. The rules don't apply to you as they do to the poor people, right?
Ooh.
So young, which we call cougar women. That's why they call cougar women for women, right? For a reason. So they're just like us, right? They're just like us. Older men like the younger women for their youth, and the older women like the younger men for their youth. So fair exchange, no robbery. Now, younger women dating older men is normal. It's been the way that race is forever, right? What age though? Now in 2024, a lot of people on these YouTube streets are trying to say what age is acceptable and what age is not acceptable. But at the end of the day, the woman who's out here, once she turns 18, 19, right, and she's fighting to try to survive, and that man comes along and provide for her an easier path, and that's suitable for her, age ain't nothing but a number. Simple, right? And now, to your point, what kind of daughter you want to be to your man? Now I have a daughter as well, right?
Lord.
And I tell her every time, I say, look, if you want to have a successful relationship, you're going to have to not talk back, right? You're going to have to just be a team player. Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand you're going to have questions. You guys are going to be perfect, but you're going to have to learn how to have a conversation without being combative. Mm-hmm. And it's not that I don't want my daughter to not question some things that could be detrimental to maybe the things she feels is making her comfortable.
Yeah.
But doing an always approach in a respectful manner, no matter what the situation is.
Ruthless, I gotta tell you, what you said right now, Ruthless, that's true. But have you done that with your actions of respecting, her mother or something?
Well, I'm not a girl. I'm not a girl. So, of course, I didn't do it. I'm not gonna do what I tell my daughter to do. I'm a man, right?
Wait a minute.
We have the dynamics
Ruthless, we had a
dynamics,
question from the chat,
dynamics.
Ruthless. Hold on. We got a question from the chat. Was you moved to a new senior home?
Shout out to Maya Reed.
Right out to Maya Reed. She on
Oh
the
man. Anyway, so I'm a man, right? So
Yeah.
all dynamics are different. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
as I'm fortitude with my wife, I am going to impose maybe certain things in a respectful manner, though. That I'm going her to ask her to agree to, so that we can move forward in the overall picture. Because she understands once we're in the dating and courting and whatever vetting phase y'all want to call it, we already know what we own. We in it to win. We're playing to win, right? We don't play to lose. And if you come back to me, and if you lack patience and endurance, then you put us in a losing position. And now you're a vulnerable asset, right? You're now I have to get rid of you, right? Or I have to at least try to work with you as long as I can. So the best way to win is when we're on the same page and we're fighting for the same thing, and that is retirement and a comfortable lifestyle.
I agree with you.
Go ahead, Akeem.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But I do think that this is the argument I'm hearing women talk about, where the old ways still work, but we just need to redefine them. I know a lot of women feel they're under a tyranny rule when patriarchy was here. So we have to, we have to redefine it in a way where it works best for others. Now, here's the thing. If I'm going to teach my daughter, if I had a daughter to say, hey, I want her to get ready to be with a man. Jordan said it. It's the way you treat their mother. And also too, I still want my daughter to learn how to cater to a man, but also she could see that I cater to her mom. I also should be able to cook and bring a plate of food to her too, just like the mom wants to do for me. There's certain gender roles I might still want to be intact, not to say generally. I still feel a man should be pumping the gas, changing tires, or that doesn't mean I'm not going to go and clean the toilet and wash the house. You know what I mean? It all depends on what works to feel that, okay, you just because you're a woman, you're required to do this. No, we can all do this and redefine how we want to make this relationship work, where nobody feels like, okay, do this because it's based on a gender. So to say that, hey, babe, if you find a man you love, you have these conversations on how does our relationship look? Because everybody's relationship is different. Some women make way more money than most men. They become the breadwinners. But the man fits in areas where she might lack at. She doesn't emasculate him because he doesn't make more money, and he doesn't feel like to oppress her because he's a man. So that's to say too, going back to what you say, how to be cooperative. What is the goal so we can put this money up so we can take trips to Dubai? To Dubai, not to be a dumpster, but to go in and enjoy it. So, and that's the thing. As my age now, I'm looking for a partner. I'm looking for a woman I can cater to just as well as she wants to cater. I want her to treat her. Go ahead.
Now, I hear your sentiments, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't really have to say that, right? You're overstating yourself and you're overselling yourself. It's already a given that men push forward the sentiments of our paying for that. This is men paying for dates and funding our time together with women is not a problem in this country. It is not a epidemic that we're not doing, right? There's a couple of movements going on, I'm not going to go into them, but for the most part, majority of men are still more than willing and more than happy to still pay for things, right? So that's something we don't have to say. But what we do need to understand that reciprocity has to be in game statistics, because women, because they're complaining, right? And because a lot of women want a lot more, now we have to ask for receipts, right? We have to, Yeah, we have to demand, because we have to show some sort of stoicism to show that we care about you and we still don't mind doing for you. But if you can't show appreciation for amount of resources that y'all pulled from men in over, let's say, 100 years, which is over trillions of dollars, right? Right? Because if you're a good-looking woman, a woman with a good attitude, we'll never go without. 100%. Unless you got a mental illness or drug addiction, you'll never go without. Some guy step in there and bring you in. Come on, baby. Hop on. Right? So with all this complaining going on and just different things that we're disagreeing on, we have to now demand reciprocity before we can have a sound relationship. Because I need you to have a skin in the game. I need you to have something to lose in this. Because if I'm investing all my finances and time, right, into this great thing we're building, and I'm making it easy for you, because I like your personality, I think you're beautiful, right? I think we get along. So I'm I don't mind sharing this with you. And then you turn around and complain that, you want more, then now we have to make you invest in us as well. Now women need to invest some of their resources because now they have the money, right? Now they have jobs.
Get out of here.
They're capable. Yeah, they're capable. Women are capable now. You guys are no longer
capable, but we ain't gonna.
You guys are smarter than us. Wait a minute, you guys are smarter than us on a large scale, right? You guys are now a voice in politics,
mm-hmm.
and right. You guys are a voice of reason now. You guys now have stoicism. You guys are, you guys got the first lady. So those things that we afforded y'all when y'all didn't have those things was at gentleman's expense, right? We don't even want them back. We don't even want them back. But now that you guys are pushing us because of the complaints, well, then now it's time to chip in for the win, right? It's time to chip in for the win. Now we need us men to pull back our resources just a little bit and make her invest, put her skin in the game, so that way when we both get to the finish line, if she wants to walk away, she needs to think about, okay, I done put a lot into this as well. And this is the problem with women because they don't put that much in financially, right? They put their time in, but that's a wash. We do too, and they have kids. I give them that, but they're getting well rewarded for that. So if they're going to walk away,
they're getting well rewarded for having children. What's the reward?
Yes. The reward is the way we court and vet you guys. We treat you guys like queens.
Oh my God! Well, then explain all these single mothers out here.
Because I'll explain that to you. The single motherhood is in epidemic because the women are no longer satisfied with the men on the majority. Because I'm not saying no men leave. I'm not going to say that, right? I'm not going to say no man's leaving. But the numbers attest to majority of women are walking away because they're saying they can do better all by themselves. It depends. I don't need a man. This is what the numbers are saying.
What numbers?
Yeah, the numbers are saying that the women are leaning on independence rather than codependence.
What numbers are saying that? What numbers are you talking about?
The divorce numbers, right?
But that's not how most women become single mothers, right? Most women aren't married, having children, and then divorcing and becoming a single mother. Most women are single mothers because the man never even offered them the dignity of marriage to begin with.
Why? And I agree with that, right? And the only reason why the man didn't offer them that is because the woman wasn't worthy of that. Most men,
then why was she worthy of his child?
Most women, yeah, but it all comes with team, right? The team effort. Yeah, the kid is what puts you in a very special place in a man's eyes. I'm not saying there's some outliers. There's some outliers, PhD. But I ain't gonna lie. There's some dudes who just have a baby just because, right? We're not denying that. But I'm just saying for the majority, in 4 or 5 years of kids, every man and woman in that relationship has plans to be a future with that person, if you guys can work it out. That's a fact. So mostly the single mama epidemic is majority. The women are saying, I could do better, I could be better, I could be independent all by myself. And if you can't give me and attest to my happiness, well, I feel that's great, you're out. you're out. And did they have a stepdaddy in place, ready to go, hope, and come in with his resources? Hakeem could attest to that, right? And the case of the guy who did not live up to his standards, did not live up to the thing he said he was going to do. Here, they don't like the kids to that's why they don't like the kids to, because they want a new daddy, they want new life, new man. So and they're not.
So why are the fathers giving them full custody? Why are the fathers giving them full custody?
No, we're not giving them. They taking it. Women are taking it, right?
How do they take? No, how can a woman take full custody?
Well, because the courts, when she goes to the court, in a lot of cases when they go to courts, right? Mm-hmm. Most men won't. I'll say a lot. I'll say 90% of men want 50-50.
Right.
But the women, on the most part, don't want to do 50-50. They want to do, you can come get them every other weekend or every other month for, the weekend or whatever. So that's a fight. It's a battle. Most men back down from it because they can't afford to keep fighting this it costs money. It ain't free. And time. Plus they got to work and still collect resources. So yes, the woman's she's going to get the kid majority of the time.
Well, so the thing is, most custody agreements don't even go through the courts, right? So about 80% of custody agreements are mutually agreed upon by both parties without going to court. So women and men are getting together and coming up with their own custody agreements without going to court. Right. So how are the women ending up with full custody if the men aren't giving it to them?
Because the man can't afford to keep going. So they bring a mediator.
No. They're not going to court. Right. So that's not
a mediator. Right. They're bringing a mediator. Right. They're bringing a mediator in. They got a mediator. Right. The case is in the court, but to go to a judge and before a judge, most of the things get resolved quickly because they bring a mediator in and they tell the guy, look, if you take this thing in front of this judge, you're gonna get your head cracked. Now, we can do this simple. You can see that you can take the kid in the summer, she gets all the winters, and be done with this. And that way, this will save you like 50 bands. Most guys gonna take that.
A mediator isn't allowed to tell either party something like that, right? Because they're the neutral party. And so why are the men giving primary custody to the women?
Because they don't have the money to keep fighting.
So how do the women have the money to fight?
Because we don't need that much money, because women, they're coming, women come in with the advantage point, and the court's already,
they're not in the court. They're making an agreement between each other with a neutral party. And so there is no court to give an advantage to anybody. They're with a neutral party. Right? How are the men giving the women primary custody? Because if the men don't have the money to fight, then the women certainly don't have the money to fight, right? Because men on average earn more than women. So if the man can't fight, the woman ain't going to be able to fight, which is why they come into an agreement without going to court, right? And so why are the men giving primary custody to the women?
And once again, Diva, I want to make it clear with you. The case is still filed in the courts, right?
I'm aware of what you're saying.
And then
still with a neutral mediator. Right. The mediator is a neutral party.
Then the court assigns their mediator, right? The mediator type of situation. So when they come in, they give you the best advice. They're advisors.
No, they're not. The mediator is a neutral party who sits there and lays out, tries to get y'all to come to a mutual agreement on the terms of the custody agreement.
Are there lawyers?
They're not giving you advice. They cannot give you advice by
they're advising
by
you.
Definition. They're not advising you. They're not giving you advice.
They're advising you the best way to end this.
No, they're not. They're telling you, they're trying to get y'all to come together and come to an agreement, but they can't advise you on anything. Their role is not to advise people.
Okay, let's use another word. They give their opinion.
They're mediators.
They give their opinion. They say, look, these are the things, these are the facts. All right. If we go into a court battle, right? Each party, this is what it costs. You have to get lawyer, This could be in here for years, and blah, blah, blah. So most men, like 80% just say, you know what, because they have to work, because going to court is very inconvenient for a guy who has
women are doing the same thing. The women are doing
The
the same
women-
thing. So you can't use that
the
as
women,
an
the
excuse.
women, right? But the women automatically is awarded full custody off the top.
That's not true. In many states,
Fighting
50-50
for-
custody is the standard, right? So no, that's absolutely not
Yeah,
true
but-
that women are awarded custody off top. No.
Divorce, right? Or when you got separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Time off the tie for. Now, what the man is coming to do is
What?
to
No.
essentially
If
say-
that's your child and if you have been legitimized as that child's father, right? Then you have just as much rights to that child as that
No.
woman. So now
No.
let's say the woman, yes, you do. Let's say
No.
the woman takes the children with her. If you go and say, hey, I want to pick the kids up for the weekend and spend the weekend with them. If you get those kids for the weekend and don't take them back and there's no custody agreement in place, then you can keep those kids until y'all come to a custody agreement.
and then
Absolutely.
they will file kidnapping charges on you. I've seen this happen.
No, they
over and over
won't, because they're
Yes.
both
Yes.
both parties
Yes.
have just as much
Mhm.
right to the kids. If you have been
Okay.
legitimized as though that child's father.
Okay.
And see, this is what a lot of black men don't understand. That signing a birth certificate don't legitimize you as that child's father. To be legitimized as the child's father, the child has to either A, have been born in wedlock, so you had to be married to that child's mother when that child was produced or birthed, or B, because even if it ain't your child and you married to her, legally it's your child. So you better get a DNA test and go through the process of saying that this ain't my child. Or nevertheless, B, the other way to be legitimized as a child's father is you have to go through a court process to be legitimized as that child's father. So
Right.
simply
You're
signing
right.
a birth certificate does not legitimize you. And in that case, of course, you can't
Right.
just run off with the lady children.
That's-
But
that's
if you
the-
have
that's-
been legitimized as that child's father, then you
Right.
certainly can.
I totally agree with you 100%.
Right. So why aren't
You're
y'all
making my
doing what
point,
y'all
though.
got to do in
You're
order
making
to
my
be in
point.
your children's lives? I'm not making
But
your
you make-
point.
PhD,
The
but
point
you're
is
making
you
my-
got to do what you got to do to
Watch
be in
this,
that
though.
child's life.
I'm not disputing that, but you're making my point. If you're not married, we're talking about people who just having babies, right?
Right. Correct.
The woman automatically gets full custody because once again, the man has to legitimize himself as a
Right.
father through the courts.
Right. But it's
So
not.
he
No.
doesn't have-
She don't automatically get full custody. That's
Yes,
not
she
your
does.
child legally. No. Because that's not your child legally. You haven't
Her.
been legitimized as the child's father, so it's not your
my
child
point.
legally. Okay.
Well,
then
Ruthless,
if it's not your
I have
child,
a
then
question.
how you got any rights to it?
Ruthless.
She
How do you-
gets the kid automatic.
How
Not
you
because
get
you
it
are the
automatic?
child's father. I'm sorry.
Right, but
Go
she
ahead.
gets the kid automatically full custody. Then you come this is
Because
what you
you're
come to
not
the
that
mediator for.
child's father.
The mediator comes in and you guys kind of negotiate. Okay, I say to you, hey baby, I would like to get the kids. Or no, sorry for calling you baby, it's a bad habit. Just hey, PH Diva, I just want the kids for I say every other week. Is that cool with you? And then if you agree to it, you're like, yeah, we Gucci. Then the mediator say, settle, we'll sign a contract and we're all done. We're all done. Now, if I say, PH Diva, I want the kids every other day, right? Just say I'll say that, right? You're gonna say, no. I'm not putting my children through that. No. Then if the mediator cannot settle that, then we're going before a judge, right? And then the judge is gonna say, okay, blah. But the woman off the top has full custody. That's once again, unless they're married. That's different. Because now you're, like you said, you're legitimized. Or if you're not married, the woman walks with the kid, she can leave the kid and be with that kid in full custody. Now, this is why you come into court for, to acclimate those rights, to have those rights to access to that kid legitimately without getting charged with kidnapping or any crazy shit.
Right. And so what you're saying is the woman is going to have the children because legally you are not that child's father.
Right, exactly.
And so you're
Right, I
going
agree
to
with
court to be legally recognized
Right,
as the child's father.
Right, exactly.
Right. And
Well,
so
until
it's
that's
not
proven-
the woman getting full custody.
Right. Yes, she is,
because you
because
aren't the
it's
child's
so-
father. You aren't the
Right.
child's father. So how can you have any custody?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're saying my point. I'm saying a woman gets full custody, not the man. He has to fight because he first has to legitimize himself, right? He has to get the rights to that child by legitimizing himself. Then once he legitimizes himself, then you negotiate.
Right. So
but
this
the
is the
human
thing.
off the top, the kids go with her.
But you're
The kids go with
saying,
her.
okay, you're saying that as if, so, okay, a lot of times, so there are cases where you can file a claim in court and the court will tell you, you have no legitimate claim and they dismiss it, right? So prior to you, the man going to court and being legitimized as the child's father, he has no legitimate claim to those children. So it's not that the woman is getting full custody off the top. It's that the daddy don't exist.
Exactly. That's my point, PhD. That's my point.
So that's not okay. All right.
That's my point, PhD. I'm saying that the woman, because the dad is not fully proven to be the dad, right? Like you said, she automatically granted full custody. And then you go into the mediator to negotiate the custody of how much time after they proved all this. Okay, you're the father.
Right.
And then I say, okay, then the mediator comes in. I say to the mediator, I want this, that. If you agree with it, we get it settled. Life goes on.
Okay, so why are y'all agreeing to give up your kids' primary custody to the mother? You can still go in and say, I want 50-50 custody, right? And a lot of people do 1 week with the daddy, 1 week with the mama, 1 week with the daddy, 1 week with the mama. And so these men are still willfully agreeing to give primary custody to the mother. So there is no disadvantage in court if the men are agreeing before they even go before a judge to grant primary custody to the woman.
Okay, so this is where
ain't no so. Stop it.
Okay, I'll let you make
Hey, Hakeem, if next time if you get like a divorce lawyer up here and explain,
we need to get a divorce lawyer, yeah.
And we can explain.
Hey, that was good. I miss you.
Where you been?
I miss you. Yeah, we ain't having like this in a long time.
I know. Where you been, Ruthless?
Oh shit! Overtime, blackout times.
All right, y'all. We about to end. We went over overtime, y'all. So we want to end the show, y'all. So we want, like I said, we want to appreciate you guys. We want to appreciate you, PhD, to come on the show for this long. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. This has been the highlight of my day, Lioness.
Shout out to you, Ruthless Shoe, man. Thank you for coming and joining us in the conversation, man. Like I say, you're always welcome to come home and jump on by, man. But yeah, man, we're about to end the show. We're going to send out some shout outs if you're watching us. Shout out to Urban Noise. Shout out to Natasha, the mother mom, as she always come in. Shout out to Maya Reed. Yeah, shout out to who else we got here? Shout out to Ken Dog, always supporting us. Who else we got in here? Shout out to Shiesty who always come to support. That's our
TC Top Cat.
Yeah, shout out to D the Degenerate, who shows up. Top Cat. Who else? Shout out to E Black for coming up shopping by.
Hey.
E Black, man. We appreciate you. Who else we had in here? Shout out to Sherry Bryan. Shout out to Bobby Bryan, who always watching us on Instagram. Facebook on Mondays, Wednesdays, Friday. We really appreciate you. Shout out to Y High. We really appreciate it. Who else we had in here? We had who else? Jodo Hurdo, we appreciate you. I believe we had somebody from King was watching us. So everybody's watching.
Rick Grimes. There was a bunch of people on Instagram. I can't. They bunch it up. I can't read all the names.
Got you. Shout out to Keisha Nelson for always watching us. We appreciate you.
Ms. Nelson.
Shout out to Jalen who joined us on the panel. We
Houston's finest.
Yes. Really appreciate you. Who else I forget?
Dual income, no kids.
Genesis. Shout out to Genesis.
Oh, Detroit's finest. Queen.
Yes.
Butter salt, cocoa butter.
Yes. 313, baby. 313.
313.
She was in the building.
Top model.
Yeah. So I think that's I think I got everybody. If I missed you guys, thank you for joining us and watching us on Chaos Culture Radio. We appreciate it and everything. But before we guys go, Remember, guys, go into the community chat. We got a Chaos Culture Radio t-shirts.
Sure.
We got different colors. We have green, black, red, blue, gray.
And Genesis, I did not forget you. I'm gonna make sure I get that camper. Oh my God, my long lost brother Gore.
Gore. Appreciate you. Also, make sure we have the Chaos Culture Radio hats. We also have the different colors as well. Make sure you support that. The Chaos Culture Radio coffee mug, as we have right here. Hopefully soon we might have. If you guys have some babies, we might.
We gonna have the onesies.
We have Chaos Culture Radio onesies up and everything. If we do, my baby's gonna be rapping and everything.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And also make sure you guys go to purchase Hakeem's book, Black Love.
Yeah.
It's out there. And once you get monetized, make sure you have the other book on here as well and everything. So we're very close to guys being monetized. We're about 800 hours to be
800 hours since it's certain. We're pushing
800 hours. So make sure you guys remember, guys. We got videos we cut back too from the live shows on the video. So anything you guys miss on the live shows, we do cut them up and we put it on the video side too. So to help you guys out about some videos that we kind of cut up from the live shows, so that really help us out and everything. But like I said, guys, thank you for joining us so much. We're running overtime. Rodney, he will be back on Monday for his lovely vacation. We'll be right back on it, baby. We'll be right back on it. But that's at the Chaos Culture Radio.